Hi, Aries Sun and Rising. Welcome to your January 2025 Astro Update. It's Raina here. I'm recording this in the middle of December just for disclosure's sake, because some of you will be listening in the last half of December, and I don't want to pretend that some of these things have happened that haven't happened. I think that it's better just to talk about things as they are occurring in my reality. So, as we begin the month of January and a new year, we're coming off of a late new moon on December 30th. And this is at 9 degrees of Capricorn. So this is in your 10th house of career. Now, this is not any garden variety new moon. This is actually what is called a black moon, which is the second new moon in a month. It is out of sign. The first one was in Sagittarius. So this one in your 10th house, if you have any kind of, if you take any kind of action at this time that's pertaining to your career, it may have an even greater effect. So keep that in mind, and there may be new opportunities opening up for you career-wise, or there's some new developments in your career. But on the 2nd of January, now I just realized, because Mercury's coming out of its shadow on the 3rd of the month. And this is in your 9th house, where if you may have been waylaid from being able to travel if you couldn't get your passport together, for instance, because Mercury can be all kinds of documents. And you might say, well, now everything is working out for me, but I wanted to go home to visit my family, or I had plans of some sort. And now it's after the new year, and now everything is finally sorting itself out. But a day before that, on the 2nd, Venus goes into Pisces, which is your 12th house. The 12th house is the house of, solitude, for instance. But it's also, there's a lot of secrecy associated with the 12th house. So sometimes I would say that there's some kind of a clandestine vibe when Venus goes into the 12th house. Now, whether it's that somebody's having an affair, or they're simply keeping their love life under wraps temporarily, it could be either one of those things. And you may have a very good reason for doing so. You may feel like you're not ready to kind of announce to people that you're with a certain person. Maybe you don't want the scrutiny at this time. Maybe this love is forbidden for some reason. Whether it is something that is, whether you're in a relationship with somebody already or the other person is, and you're hiding, you're kind of doing things privately, because Venus can be pleasure and the 12th house can be kind of secret pleasure. I also feel that Venus in the 12th house can be meeting somebody who turns out to be your soulmate, because the 12th house is past lives. On the 6th of the month, Mars goes back into Cancer. So Mars retrograded in your 5th house of love. Oh, there you go. So this can be somebody from your past that you kind of going over all ground, and now it's going back into your 4th house of home and family. So yes, I mean, you may find that this is affecting your home life. If this is a clandestine type of a thing, you might find that it's like old wounds being, in the domestic side of life, being opened up. But it can also be, if it has to do with your mom, because that can be, some people say the father's the fourth house. Even something related to the family that you have created. And you may feel like you're sitting on your anger, that because Mars can be how we express anger, but when it's retrograde, it's not that easy to do necessarily. So it can be a very frustrating time in the home for sure, because you can feel like you can't say anything. And if you're planning to leave your marriage, for instance, and your family is going to be split up, you may be biding your time because for some reason you're waiting for a period of time when everything's going to be more, maybe probably it has something to do, now it's past the holidays, but it could still be that you're looking for the perfect time to make your move. Maybe you're waiting for Mars to go direct, and that's going to be on February 23rd. If you've been trying to do any kind of rehab on your home, this may be delayed. On the 8th, Mercury goes into Capricorn, into that 10th house of career. You may be talking to people in positions of authority. You may be speaking in front of the public in some way with some kind of authority behind you. 10th house is your status, can be your career, and maybe you're having to communicate before others with your expertise. On the 13th, we have a full moon at 24 degrees of Cancer in your 4th house of home and family. This is going to be a particularly emotional one because it's in the house, since you're the universal template of all of the house placements, it almost gives like that double effect because the full moon in Cancer is in the house that it rules in astrology. So a full moon in Cancer is always going to be emotional, but when it's in the 4th house, that just enhances it. And this could really be this could be very nostalgic, sentimental. And if you are planning on moving, which you could very well do because you're still going to have a solar eclipse in your sign, so that's going to be in your 1st house in late March. So that could change your life as well. This can be a time when you finally realize that, yeah, this is what you're going to do, and you start to kind of feel that sentimentality come in. Maybe you feel a little sad about it, but it can also be connected to your childhood, and you may start to remember some very pivotal things that happened when you were young that are connecting to things that are going on right now, because Mars will be in conjunction with this full moon. And especially for an Aries person, you have to be very careful not to act on emotion, because you're very impulsive as it is, or you tend to be. And this could just make you emotionally this way. And you could feel that sense of sentimentality kind of kicking in. On the 19th, the sun goes into Aquarius in that 11th house. And you start to have, it's funny because it's almost like polar opposites. Aquarius and Cancer. Aquarius is very communal, so it's much more about the collective, and Cancer is very much about a very select group of people, your family, your close friends. It doesn't really like, just like maybe strangers or things like that. It's about people close to you. And so this brings in more detached energy, less emotional. You have the sun going into the 11th. On the 27th, you have Mercury going there. You could be speaking more to your friends, contacting them. Maybe you haven't spoken to them in a while because of the holidays or what have you. On the 29th, we have a new moon here at 9 degrees of Aquarius. So there could be developments with maybe you're joining a new group, or the 11th house is the house of hopes and wishes. So you may find some new goal that's a long-term goal that you really are enthused about. And on the 30th, this is really interesting. Uranus turns direct at 23 degrees of Taurus in your second house of earned income. The reason it's interesting is Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. And not in the same sign. It's in Taurus. But still, that's pretty synchronistic. So when Uranus turns direct in the second house, this really emphasizes how your earnings can come from electronic, like online pursuits, but also from unusual ways of earning money. So if you have been doing something like maybe you're a Reiki master or something, and that's how I always think of energy healing when I think of Uranus, because it rules the nervous system, and it's also very intuitive. And it's like electric. I feel like when Uranus is in the second house, your ability to make money can be very erratic, but there's an exciting aspect to that. It's like, wow, anything is possible. And for somebody like Aries, this is actually, I'm a Sagittarian. Aries would be the same way, that you would be excited about this, that you wouldn't be afraid because you're like, well, that's unpredictable. That threatens me. No, actually, an Aries person is enlivened by things that are unpredictable because it keeps you on your toes. And it could be something that is beyond your wildest dreams. So that's, that would be a great way to frame it. But yeah, so that's happening on the 30th. So there you have it, Aries. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Thanks for listening. Bye.